Hey everyone, welcome in. Just doing a quick mic test here before we get started. Make sure this is all good to go. Yeah, there we go. We're working. Okay, awesome. Hey, welcome in. First of all, just want to really thank everyone who is joining here for joining in, and you took time out of a busy Thursday. You know, it's almost Friday. You're almost towards the end of the week. You could have easily just been a couch potato tonight and not thought about your future, but you're thinking about your future. And I have to really, man, I have to really applaud you for that. So when we are going to be doing this today, hey, what's up, Evan? What's up, Gracie? Thank you for already putting into the chat a couple things, because I was just about to say that. I want to be so interactive tonight, guys. I want you to post. I want you to comment. I want you to ask questions. I might not see the questions as you ask them. Just going to give you that heads up. I might not see your questions as you ask them, but I'm going to get to them at the end. So let me just set the precedent. First of all, chat. I'm giving you a task right now. I need you to post 3 things in the chat. Number 1, where are you at? City and state. Number 2, how many short-term rentals / Airbnbs do you already have? It's okay if it's 0. It's okay. But number 3, how many do you want to have by the end of 2021? How many do you want to have in your portfolio by the end of 2021? So again, location, how many do you have right now? It's okay if it's 0. And how many do you want to have by the end of 2021? So we've got Gracie saying she's from Fresno, and let's see if she can tell us how many she has. I already know how many she has. Wink, wink. But hey, with that being said, as you're writing that in and as you're typing that in, first 45 minutes today is going to be all about just tons of value, tons of knowledge. I've been doing this for a little bit of time. I'm excited to share with you how we're going to be able to get you down to 3 hours per week of building this and operating an Airbnb business. So tons of value. Get ready to take some notes. Get ready to just digest this and to really learn tonight. But then the last 15 minutes are going to be all about Q&A. And in between all of that, so stay around for the Q&A. Between all of that is going to be a free giveaway and an offer. So you have to be here when I'm giving the free giveaway and the offer in order for you to take advantage of that. Yes, I'm going to offer something that has a sales price on it, that has a price tag on it. Listen, it's okay if you don't want to buy anything. It's okay if you don't want to educate beyond tonight. It's okay if this is something that you don't want to keep on doing. But here's what I know is that the number one thing that I needed when it came down to my success was education and mentorship, and to make it affordable so that you guys can get exactly what I've gotten out of this industry, which has been completely life-changing. I want to make it an easy decision for you. So anyway, be aware of that. We're going to have that at the end. Now let's go over to the chats here. So we've got Gracie from Fresno. She says she's got 1, hoping 8 by December. Big goals. We got Kara Avery. She's in Los Angeles. She's got 1 now, and she wants 3 to 4 by the end of the year. Evan has, he's in Asheville, North Carolina. I've heard great things about Asheville, Evan. Is it as nice as people say? 0, but he's got 6 on the radar, and on a property that my wife and I bought. Okay, that's interesting. Very cool. Sean says he's in Houston, Texas. 0 would like to have as many as possible. Put a number on it, Sean. I'm telling you, as many as possible doesn't help you feel like you're getting towards your goals. Make sure you have a number on it. I'm telling you, that will make a difference. Hey, we got TK Bradford with a huge goal here. He's in South Carolina, 0 right now, but wants to get to 15. Tony Hunt, also from Fresno. What's up, Tony? Alfredo maybe sent an emoji, didn't come through. Evan, absolutely awesome. So you're saying it's nice over there in Asheville. That's cool. Kaylee has 0, but how many do you want to get, Kaylee? And Sean, you have 4. You want to get 4. Great. Awesome, Sean. Way to put a number on it. All right. So with that being said, again, 45 minutes. We're going to get to an offer and a free giveaway. You guys are getting a free giveaway, and we're going to have Q&A at the end. So make sure that you stick around for that. You can ask all your questions during this, but I might not answer them until the Q&A. With that being said, we're going to get to also a poll here in a second. So I want interaction. I want a lot of Lake of Ozarks. Wow. Okay. Is that the same place that the show Ozark is on? Because Pamela, that would be really cool. I would love to see some Airbnbs over there. Hey, Tony and Gracie they're getting connected here. Jeff Evans, Edwardsville, Illinois, 0-2, Edwardsville. That sounds like Mr. Deeds, the town of I can't even remember what he says. Anyway, I'm getting distracted now. The chat is fun. Okay, so we're gonna have a poll here in a second too, but I just want to give you a little bit of background on me if you don't already know. I started an Airbnb in 2015, did it very, very casually as a house hacking method where I was just doing it as a room out of my house. Did not know what you're going to learn tonight. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is holding you back from reaching your goals. And I found that out very quickly when I found out about how to do Airbnb without even owning a property in 2019. And at that point, I went all in. And from May of 2019 to now almost May of 2021, we are approaching 40 units, most of which we do not own, some of which we own. And if you're like, wait, what do you mean you don't own them? We're going to get to that tonight too. Been completely life-changing, okay? November of 2020 was just that like pinch me moment. We were at 25 units at the time. I made $22,000 net after expenses right before Christmas. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can go buy friends and family so many Christmas presents this year. I've never been able to do that. And then now today, we just had a $30,000 month this last month, expecting to see even more this month. It's been a complete blessing. And I want you guys to be able to have the same thing. And it all starts with education. That's what you're here for tonight. So the big hack I want to really just get you to start thinking about tonight is you have to work on your business and not in your business. There's no way what I'm going to teach you today works if you still think that you have to be present, that you have to do the work yourself, and that you are the only one that can do it. If you think that tonight, my goal is to help change your mindset. If you don't change your mindset, I'm sorry, you're going to keep on working 20 to 30 hours a week trying to build an Airbnb business, or maybe you already have one and you're putting in a lot of work. You have to get ready to change your mindset of working in your business to working on your business. Okay. So that is the last thing I'm going to say before we go to this poll. Real quick here. Tony and Gracie are talking back and forth. That's awesome. Okay, Pamela, the series represents the area, but it's not actually filmed. Oh, it's filmed elsewhere. Got it. Isn't that funny how that works? Cool. And Alfredo's in Clovis. Cool, Alfredo. Nice to see some local Fresno and Clovis people. Okay, with that being said, let's get to a quick poll, and then we're going to get into value starting today. So you should have just seen a poll pop up right next to the chat, and it is what is the one thing that takes up most of your time and is holding you back from starting an Airbnb business? Or if you're already in an Airbnb business, maybe you have one or two, what's holding you back from taking it to the next level? So go ahead and vote. Select one of those. We got work, family, recreational time, gym, and health, or nothing. I'm just lazy. And I'm willing to bet that if you select nothing, I'm just lazy, you're just being a smartass. Because you're, like I said, kudos to all of you tonight for being on here and for taking the time to put aside some time to work on your future for yourself and for your family. So one more time, what is the one thing that takes up the most time and is holding you back from starting an Airbnb business? Work, family, recreational time, gym, and health, or nothing. I'm just lazy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and end poll. Okay, awesome. So you guys can't see the results, but I am really excited. I'm looking over here because I'm seeing what you're seeing. So I just want to make sure you can't see the results. But only 2 selected. Okay, good news is no one's lazy. No one is spending their time watching TV. No one said gym and health, and no one said recreational time. We got 22% saying family and 78% saying their full-time job. Now the question is, throw it in the chat, is your full-time job something that fulfills you? Yes or no? Does it fulfill you? Yes or no? Does your full-time job fulfill you? Are you absolutely happy with your full-time job? Just say yes or no. I don't need an explanation. Just throw it in there. Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's see it. You didn't include money. Well, yeah, money. I'm talking more from a time perspective, though, Tanya. So Tanya's asking, why not money? I'm talking from a time perspective. What's the one thing that's holding you back time-wise? Because that's what we're talking about today, right? Saving time. So Gracie says yes. Evan says yes. Dana, no. Tony, no. Dana says some. Avery says kind of. Chanel, yes. Okay, so a lot of you actually really like what you do. But I'm willing to bet, this is as of 30 days ago. Okay. I'm willing to bet, though, that if you had more time, you would probably be doing different things with your time, which is always the big thing. Like, you can love what you do. I love that I see that people love what they do. That fires me up. But if you had more time, what would you do with that? And so that's why I'm going to ask you next. If you had a thriving passive Airbnb business, what would you do with your new free time? How about that? So would you spend more time with family? Would you travel more? Would you serve in the community? Would you work out more? Would you do all the above, or would you do something else? If it's something else, I'm going to ask you to actually put it in the chat too. So if you say something else, put it in the chat what that something else is. One more time, if you had a thriving passive Airbnb business, what would you do with your new free time? Spend more time with family, travel more, serve the community, work out more, all the above, or something else. We're coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and end poll. Okay, a little bit more across the board this time. We've got 11% said spend more time with family. 22% said travel more, and then 11% also said serve in the community, but then 55% said all of the above, which I pretty much expected. So that's pretty cool. So if you had more time, you would do a lot more of those things. That's awesome to see. Dan says fish. Gracie says travel with my boyfriend. That's funny because guess what, guys? Gracie is my girlfriend, so she is on here supporting, and she is learning here. Okay, real quick story before we go on, because I have to say this. Education is key, but also hearing it from the right person is also key. Because Gracie and I talk Airbnb all the time. Gracie heard it from someone else yesterday, and she's like, "Why am I not doing this?" And so I was just kind of like, "What the heck? Why didn't you hear it from me? You heard it from someone else, and now you're all fired up about it." So it has to come at the right time. It has to come from the right person. And I'm hoping for the rest of you tonight is the right time, and I am the right person to show you how to be able the poll ends before I can vote. Oh, sorry, Jeff. But I hope tonight is going to be that breakthrough moment for all of you, that you can see, again, our goal tonight, the topic, how to create, and I'm going to share my screen as I actually say this. Turn screen on and going to this, and here we go. So, oops, that's not where I wanted. We want right here. There we go. So how to start and operate an Airbnb business with just 3 hours per week. Now, I can't see the chat anymore, but post your questions as I'm going through here, because I will get to it at the end. But the one caveat I'm going to put on here as well is how to do this without even owning a property. And so let's first of all talk about the objections of short-term rentals. So, hey, it takes too much time to manage. We hear this all the time, right? I would much rather do a long-term rental because I don't want to have to deal with all the turnover. I don't want to have to deal with, replying to guests. It takes too much time. You have to be by your phone all the time because if a guest is upset, you got to make sure to help them fix the situation. You have to respond to messages quickly. Airbnb has an algorithm. They need you to respond quickly. They need you to be like a bellhop, at the front desk. And if someone calls, you're there to answer their beck and call. This is an objection. A lot of people think this. It's difficult to manage turnovers. Man, I can't wrap my mind around it. I know a $1 million earner here in Fresno, California, and he is he does flipping. He's a real estate professional. The guy just cannot wrap his mind around a guest leaving at 11 and a new guest showing up at 4. And that's a tough thing to manage. Right? That's definitely an objection. There's too many moving parts, man. When there's turnovers, and then maybe I've got to fix something about the house in between guests. A lot of messages coming in. A lot of people need things. Getting messages past 10 o'clock. There's a lot of moving parts. It's easier and less risky to do regular rentals. Like, why would I want to do an Airbnb when I can just do a rental and, I don't have to put up all the money for the furniture. I can just put a tenant in there and bada bing, bada boom, we're on to the next. I can go focus on getting another property. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. and you can't scale it. With all this work to do, it's just impossible to scale. There's no way you can do it. You might get 3 or 4, but you're going to put a lot of time into it. All right, these are all objections, right? But here's the truth. The absolute truth about all this is that if done correctly, and that's the asterisk here, that's the caveat, it doesn't take a lot of time. Okay, I'm living proof of that. I don't even have Airbnb on my phone, and I'm not responding to guests. I'm not doing any of that work. And for that reason, I don't have to be married to my phone. I check on my Airbnb calendar about once a day, and I just kind of check in with my assistants, and I ask them, do you need anything from me? And if they need something, they let me know. You can use technology to respond quickly. Imagine this. A guest says, hey, I'd like to stay, or a potential guest says, hey, I'd like to stay at your place. It looks really nice. And an automated message goes right back to them that says, hey, it looks like you want to stay with us. Go ahead and ask your questions. By the way, here's what we need from you, and we'll get back to you soon. Then you're staying in the algorithm, and you can look at that message whenever you have time, or your team can as well. Good cleaners will help make turnovers easy. Your number one teammate that you're going to have in this business is your cleaner. If you have a super cleaner, there's such a thing in Airbnb as a super host, right? What about a super cleaner? Super cleaners help make you super hosts, and they help take a lot of time and worry off of your shoulders. We have some of the best cleaners here in the Valley, and for that reason, I know that things are getting taken care of. Good systems keep moving parts organized. Think about that for a second. What if you had a cleaner that walked into a house they've never been in, and knows everything they need to do, and isn't bugging you, isn't calling you, isn't wondering, hey, where's the toolbox? Or, hey, where are all the extra towels? They know where everything's at because you have good systems in place. Think about that. How nice would that be? Long-term rentals are actually riskier, okay? Think about this for a second. Especially in California. I can't tell you how many people came to me after the turn of COVID and all these moratoriums being put into place about people not having to pay their rents, being given an excuse to be a squatter at a property. All of these homeowners came to me and said, Kyle, can you please operate and be a co-host of my house and do it as an Airbnb, because I'm scared to death about people staying in my house for more than 30 days and becoming squatters. Along with that, Airbnb has a host guarantee. If something gets damaged, something gets destroyed, something gets stolen, they're going to cover you. There's other insurances in place as well that you can add on. Meanwhile, if you had a regular tenant, all you've got is a security deposit. What if they put a couple holes in the wall? We've got a property in Bakersfield that I'm not doing as an Airbnb because of the area. And God, we got pictures the other day. Door frames are ripped off. There's drawings all over the walls. We're talking about thousands of dollars once these tenants get kicked out. That's not happening in an Airbnb. And if it is, then it's covered by Airbnb's host guarantee. You can scale this, and I'm telling you, much faster. And here's why. We're going to talk about the ways to do Airbnb, and if you haven't already seen this, you're going to have an aha moment right now of why Airbnb can be so much more scalable. So let's talk about ways to do Airbnb. There's 3 main ways. Number 1, you own the house. We always spend more time on what we own. And so I just want to kind of talk about that for a second. But if you own the house, you're going to spend more money and you're going to spend more time. You're going to, let's just call it a $300,000 house, $60,000 down, $10,000 in closing costs, $15,000 in furniture and amenity, and maybe even another $15,000 in repairs to get it up to the standards of Airbnb. That's $100,000. That's a lot of time for renovation. That's a lot of time for escrow. That's a lot of time getting the place ready. And so for that reason, is it better than a regular rental? Absolutely, 100%. If you own a house and are doing Airbnb, you are doing the right thing. However, if you want to scale this thing fast, what about this thing called arbitrage? Have you ever heard of arbitrage? Throw in the chat if you've heard of arbitrage. I'm actually looking over at the chat on my other screen over here, so I can see that. Arbitrage is simply the act of leasing and then subleasing on Airbnb. So I go to an owner and I say, hey, I'd like to rent out your place, and I'm going to be your best tenant. In fact, this might be the last lease you ever have to sign. I'm going to make life so easy for you. All I need to ask is that you allow me to sublease this house out to people that are going to be here for short-term reasons. So I'm essentially like a manager, and I'm going to treat your place really well. I'm going to clean it all the time. I'm going to go in between turnovers. I'm going to make sure everything's working well. Anyway, we're not going to go over the pitch tonight. But when it comes to arbitrage, the great thing about it from a timing perspective is that the house is ready to go minus furnishings and amenities. So I don't have to worry about rehab. I don't have to worry about escrows closing. I don't have to worry about all these things. All I have to do is sign a lease, and I might be moving in there in a week or two and furnishing the place a lot faster. Plus, when it comes down to it, when I own the house, again, I'm putting in $100,000 possibly. When I'm arbitraging, I might be putting in $10 to $12 to $15,000. I don't know about you, but that means more money is being allocated towards, or more money is being saved, so I can allocate it towards more properties. And then the final way, and one of my favorites, co-hosting, also known as property management or hospitality management. This is when a owner will say, well, I don't want to rent it to you. I want to participate in the profit. So I'm going to furnish everything myself. In fact, Kyle or Gracie or Evan or TK or Jeff or Dana, I'm going to pay you to get it all set up. I'm going to pay for all the furnishings and expenses. I'm going to pay for all the repairs if need be. And then I'm going to pay you monthly to manage it and to take all the Airbnb responsibilities away from me and make this completely passive. And so you are now making money on something that you have $0 invested in. It's my absolute favorite way. It's the way that we've blown up our business. We now have 29 properties that we co-host for other people and manage, and it brings in amazing money with zero risk. And the great thing about that is that the houses, from a timing perspective, are sometimes completely ready to go, just like the arbitrage houses. And sometimes they're just completely ready to go, and because they're already furnished. So that's a really wonderful thing. We actually took over a new property in Phoenix that was already on Airbnb, and the person was just tired of managing it herself. And she said, look, just go ahead. I'll add you as a co-host. It's already ready to go. It's got everything we need. And right away, day one, we're making 20% on a place that's bringing in about $5,000 per month, $1,000 in our pocket per month without even having any expenses. How cool is that? So that's the ways that we're doing Airbnb. By the way, if you're able to, go ahead right now in the chat, which sounds the most attractive to you? Is it owning, is it arbitrage, or is it co-hosting? So owning, arbitrage, or co-hosting, what sounds like the way that you would want to scale or do an Airbnb business? I want to see that. I think I'm a little delayed over on my other screen here. So I'm interested to see that here after I start seeing those pop up. But anyway, I'm going to move on. So now it's time to get to how we're saving you time. How are we saving you time? Now we're going to start, and we're going to talk about two different things. Evan, own, love it. Sorry, Charisse, I hope I'm saying that right. Charisse says owning, Pamela owning and co-hosting, Tony arbitrage, Gracie co-host, care arbitrage. Awesome. I'd want to have the house or have the full details about all three to determine if they fit the plan of action. Owner arbitrage from Jeff. Great. Thanks guys for participating. So now what we're talking about, we're going to talk about how to, first of all, build with just 3 hours a week. And then once you have that property, how do you operate it? How do you manage it with just 3 hours or less per week? So let's first of all start off with how to build. Number one thing that you need to do is you need to understand how to master deal evaluation. What I mean by that is when a house, a address gets sent to you, or you find an address and you say, I want to Airbnb this. Well, you need to take a step back and you need to evaluate that deal, and you need to get really stinking good at it and fast at it. Because here's an example. Today, I got 3 addresses sent to me, and I had those evaluated in 15 minutes, all 3 addresses. When I first started, that took me a lot longer. So you need to master it. How are you doing that? You're using 3 different resources. Number one is AirDNA. Another option is Mashvisor. This is like the MLS of Airbnb. In fact, I think I have a picture of it. It looks just like this. You go into your market, and by the way, I think my link for this is bit.ly/AirDNA link. bit.ly, bit.ly/AirDNA link. I think that's it. If you go to that link, it'll take you to a sign up. You can either do it for free or you can pay for a membership. But this right here, what you're seeing is a paid membership. It gives me and says, hey, this particular market is graded a B. It's getting an average daily rate of $200 per night. The average occupancy is 61%. And I'm able to look at all these little dots and select all these different pre-qualifications to say, how much is this place making? How much is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath making? How much is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath making? And so I'm using that. And then I go and I double check on Airbnb. So it says, you know, for example, hey, this place is making $200 a night. Well, I'm going to go to Airbnb. I'm going to look at that listing and I'm going to see, well, is it making $200 a night all the time? Is it just doing that during the hot season? Is it fluctuating a lot? I'm going to kind of see seasonality when it comes down to it for Airbnb. And Airbnb might also pop up with a few more comps in the area. But then I'm going to use my Airbnb profit calculator. All of you probably have this by now. It is on my website, fearlesskyle.com. You literally can plug in the numbers for what you think it's going to make plus expenses, and it'll spit out to you a number of different things. It'll tell you how much it thinks you're going to make every single month. It'll tell you how much it thinks you're going to make every year, what's your return on your investment, how much are you going to spend to start it up, all the good stuff. So these three are going to be your 1, 2, 3 punch for mastering deal evaluation. Now, what you really need to get used to is practicing this. So even if you're not sure if you're going to pitch to a landlord, I want you to practice that. I want you to use AirDNA and or Mashvisor, Airbnb, and the profit calculator and get this down to a science where you're able to do what used to take you 30 minutes, now takes you only 5 minutes. It's going to take practice, okay? And I want you to also streamline your research and your lead generation. What do I mean by that? So when you streamline your research and lead generation, it's after you've defined a deal. So you've just defined a deal and you know what you're looking for. So let's go back to this for a second. If I've used AirDNA, Airbnb, and the profit calculator, and I've done it for 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 2-baths, 4-bedroom, 2-baths, and I see, okay, the best return on my investment is going to be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's going to be in this zip code, and it's going to need to look like this kind of update. Is it going to be fully updated? Maybe not. Maybe it just needs to be nice and clean. So you have that idea of what a deal looks like in your mind. So now, at this point, you're going to start looking on places like Facebook Marketplace, places like HotPads, maybe Craigslist. Zillow's a good one also, but you'll also look on Airbnb. Why would I look on Airbnb? Well, I'll show you why you'll look on Airbnb. So I'm going to actually get off this screen, go to my screen over here. And here's what I'm going to show you really quickly. This will be worth all of your time in gold right now for the night. I'm on Phoenix, Arizona right here. I've selected Phoenix, Arizona. I have not selected any dates. Don't select any dates. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see, well, what places are already allowing Airbnbs as an arbitrage? And you're going to say, well, how would I know if they're arbitraging or owning or co-hosting? Here's why. Because I'm going to go to filters and I'm going to select apartments. How about this? An apartment as an Airbnb. Yep, you can do that. And if it's an apartment, it's Airbnb, what do you think you could do? You could go right to the leasing agent and you could say, hey, I want to do, without being fancy with my terminology here, because this is not what I say, but, I want to do Airbnb at your place. Oh, yeah, we got a ton of those. Okay, great. Where do I sign up? You can literally, guys, you can get off the phone with me tonight and possibly go and call one of these places just by looking on Airbnb. And so what I'm looking for is a cluster. So if you notice, this right here is a cluster. So I'm going to look down, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, okay, it looks like this right here is maybe one apartment complex. And I can do this a couple different ways. I can literally go to a Phoenix map and I can say, okay, on Roosevelt and on the corner of, actually not Roosevelt, on the corner of McKinley and Fifth Avenue. Okay, McKinley and Fifth Avenue. I'm going to look on a map and I'm going to say, what apartment complex is this? And I'm going to call them. Or you could even maybe just click on this. And that doesn't look like that type of apartment. Here we go. And you might be able to see right here, does it actually say the name of the apartment complex? Okay. You could look in the description and it might have the name of the apartment complex. So hopefully you love that information you just got. Does anyone like that? Does anyone think like, oh my gosh, I just saved a bunch of time by being on this webinar? And so Sean asked, do you go over how to pitch in your course? Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, Sean. Thank you for the question. But can I get like a, wow, that was valuable, or, oh my gosh, I never thought to do that? Like anything like that. I hope that was enough for you to be like, that was a lot of value right there. And again, streamlining, that's what we're talking about, streamlining your process. So if you can streamline straight to, okay, I know that I want a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and I know apartments they have 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So I'm going to go on Airbnb and I'm going to find an apartment complex and I'm going to go straight to them, and maybe they have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Boom. Just saved you a bunch of time. Cool. That's awesome. From Evan. Sean says, yep, that is amazing. Cool. Love that you guys love it. All right. And by the way, you can hire VAs, which are also known as virtual assistants, to search for your deals. So think about this for a second. You're probably already thinking, man, a lot of research. I thought Kyle said I'm going to save myself time. If you define a deal, you go straight to upwork.com. You can go straight to onlinejobs.ph, and you can find a virtual assistant, or maybe you even have a son or a daughter who's smart enough to go online and just start looking for all these places and start gathering phone numbers and maybe even make calls for you while you're at work, hard at work. That's pretty cool. Again, we're working on our business, not in our business. You might need to do it yourself a few times, but then you want to outsource it right after that. Okay, next, you want to set your calendar. Set your calendar. What do I mean by that? Well, time for research, time for calls, and time for meetings. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, I'm here to say it is not. And what I'm going to teach you right now is like a 6-figure training in itself. I got taught this by someone who makes about $500,000 a year in sales. And this is exactly what they do. They have green time, yellow time, and red time on their calendar. And the green and the red are non-negotiables. The yellow is the flex time. So green means money time. If we see green, that means it is time to put in time for either research, calls, or meetings for Airbnb. If we see yellow time, that means it's, hey, I've got some downtime. Maybe the wife is at work or the kids are at school and I'm at home. And it's been a long day. And so yellow time means that I can either put time into my business or I can relax if I need to. And then the red is the non-negotiable. That's the stuff that is just as important as the green, but it's something that you cannot waver and go do work or relax. It's family time. It is work. It is working out. It is you time. You have to have that red. Honestly, at the end of the day, there's probably going to be way more red time than there is going to be green or yellow. Yellow is probably going to be second. Green is going to be minimal because, again, we're putting in 3 hours. So what I would say, and what we're going to get to in a little bit here, is putting in green time for how much research you're doing per week, how many calls and how much time you're putting in for calls, and then how much time you're putting in for meetings. You're going to put the most time into meetings because that's what's going to get you the results. And we'll talk about that towards the, actually, let's talk about that right now. Think about this. 30 minutes of research. I just showed you how to streamline your research. You've defined a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this neighborhood is going to be the place I'm looking for. So if it's not a 3-bedroom, 2-bath and it's not in the neighborhood, then I'm not looking at it. You're saving time. You can do your research in 30 minutes or less per week. You can make those calls to those people too. Hey, I saw your place. Would love to come see it. Maybe even it doesn't take a call. Maybe it's an apartment and you don't even have to make a call to those people. You literally just show up. And meetings, you're going to cluster your meetings together. So if you have an apartment complex that you're looking at, you're going to meet with one apartment complex right there. Then right down the street, you're going to meet with another complex, and then maybe another complex, or maybe even a landlord or two after that. You're going to conduct 3 to 5 meetings per week. And if you're doing it correctly, Sean asked, do you have a way to pitch it? If you're doing your pitch correctly, then you should be able to close on about 1 out of every 8 to 10. Think about that. If you have 3 meetings per week, 1 time per week, doing 3 meetings, you're having 12 meetings per month. If you're closing at a rate of 1 to 10, you have your first one after your very first month. That's exactly what happened to me. I went to 15 apartments in my very first month, and I closed on 1. I actually got a yes from 2, but I closed on 1. So this is all very doable, guys. And I'm telling you, I didn't put in more than 3 hours per week. I was busy. I had a full-time job. I was living at home. I was doing all these different things. And I can tell you right now, I was not putting more than 3 hours per week into this in order to build this thing up. And so lastly, how do you build? You develop great relationships to get warm leads. In the beginning, you're going to look for leads online, but after you start telling people what you're doing and you're going to create relationships with real estate agents, property managers, real estate investors, you're going to add value to them. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, I know you've got some clients that aren't selling their houses. Maybe they need some help. Maybe I can take that over for them and turn it into an Airbnb. Hey, property manager, I know you don't take on all properties. What if some of the properties that you don't use, you send to me and I'll pay you a finder's fee? Hey, real estate investor, I know you got a lot of houses. Are any of those ones that you don't want to deal with regular tenants? I can move that on as a short-term rental and either arbitrage it or manage it for you. You build these relationships and they're going to lead you to other people. My phone rings on a daily basis from, hey, I got your number from Steve. Hey, I got your number from Christy. Hey, I got your number from Walter. All these different people call me all the time because I've developed these relationships. I don't, honestly, guys, after the second month, I have not gone back to researching. I haven't had to do any advertising. I haven't sent out flyers, nothing like that. It's all been warm leads. That is a much less stressful way of doing business, just telling you from experience. All right, so now that you've got your first place, right? How are we operating it? And I know we're tight on time here, so I want to make sure to respect everyone's time, but I want to give you continued great value here. So technology, the number one way that we can automate this process is with technology. So a few different things. Beyond pricing, this is going to help you to do automated pricing. Smart BNB, this is going to help you automate both your messaging, about 80% of your messaging, and a lot of task management to your team. And then a PMS, which is called a property management system, also known as a channel manager. This is also ways that you can automate things. We're not going to talk about that as much, but I would like to talk for a second about Beyond Pricing and Smart BNB. So Beyond Pricing, look at this. This is actually a calendar of mine. And all of these dates here, if you notice, are all different prices. There's not one like the other, and that's back to back here. So if you were to go do this manually, think about how much time this would take you, and you'd be shooting in the dark, right? Well, with Beyond Pricing, it's gathering data. It's using a base price that you choose based on other comps in the area. And then it's saying, well, because it's a weekend, if you notice, Friday and Saturday, all higher prices. Well, because it's a weekend, we're going to add some income to it. Because it's a Monday, that's the toughest day to book, we're going to drop the prices a little bit. And then this is actually because it's May of 2021. This is Memorial Day. We're going to really jack up these prices because this right here is a holiday. So it's doing this all on its own. And there's so many cool, intricate ways to be able to mess with this that once you have it down, you almost literally don't have to touch it. I actually just did a review of Beyond Pricing. You can look it up on my YouTube channel if you would like to see what it's all about. It's an entire video. I give a very unbiased look into Beyond Pricing because there is a few things that I wish they did a little bit better, but still at the end of the day, this not only saves me money, it makes me about 20% more than if I were to manually price out my own things. This is a game changer, such a game changer. You need to use it. But then this is Smart BNB. Smart BNB, look at this. This message automatically gets sent out if there is a new booking inquiry. So if someone goes to book with me and says, I would like to stay at your place, I have a couple questions. Immediately, they're going to get a message saying, hello, so-and-so. Thanks a lot for your interest. Please read over our house rules. Note we have a camera at the front. Provide us with a reason for your stay. We'd love to host you, yada, yada, yada. I'm staying in the algorithm of Airbnb by responding quickly, but no one knows that I'm not the one responding. It's actually an automated message. And so maybe I only check my phone once an hour or once every 2 hours. I come back and I see that someone's responded to this message because they think they're talking directly to me. And now I'm able to decide whether I want to accept or decline. It even has automated things that if someone says something like, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password? Hey, it looks like you're asking for the Wi-Fi password. Here it is. You can literally have keywords that will respond to people for you. Pretty amazing. Okay, and well, next is how to operate with just 3 hours. People are, to me, even more important than technology because you need to have reliable people that are taking this business just as seriously as you. So assistants, virtual assistants, cleaners, handymen, designers, boots on the ground, neighbors, or on-site managers. I want you to think for a second. It's it's 7 p.m. and you're out to dinner with your in-laws, and maybe it's a really important dinner. Maybe it's something that your wife or your husband has been planning for a long time. It's very important to them. And all you can feel is your phone in your pocket buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. And all you're thinking is that Airbnb? Is there something happening? Is there an issue? And if there's an issue, SmartBnB is not going to respond for me. But you have assistants. You have people that are looking for you, and you get to breathe this sigh of relief and say, I get to be present. I get to be with my family. I get to be with my in-laws. I know this is important to my wife or my husband, and I'm going to be here. I'm going to be present because I know it's being taken care of by someone else. On the other side is the hectic host that doesn't know how to do that, doesn't know how to hire good people, and pisses off their significant other because now they have to go outside and take a call and deal with the situation. This is how you do this with just 3 hours of work a week. You hire good people. I'm not going to go into how we hire good people because that's a whole training in itself. And then lastly, systems. So turnovers, inventory, setup, guest screening, guest issues, restocking items, trash days, reviews, guest communication. There's so many systems that you need to have, but here's just one example of a really great system that will save you and your team time. When a new reservation happens, we are on SmartBnB again. When a new reservation happens, we can have a SMS, which is a text notification, go straight to our cleaner. And that cleaner gets a notification saying, we just received a new reservation starting on this date. Can you please let us know that you're going to clean this when it is ready to be cleaned? And it's going to send out a day before reminder, and it's going to send a day of reminder. 3 different text reminders that take the stress off of you responding and or them relying on you to keep them accountable, and allows you to be able to go focus on working on your business and growing it rather than working in your business. How special is that? SmartBnB is just such a game changer. So, there's a number of different systems that we could talk about right now, but that in itself is one that I think could save you a lot of time. So you need to really think tonight, like, what does my turnover system look like? How do I know when I'm running low on inventory? Is there a checklist that I can give to my guests or to my cleaners that will allow them to let me know whenever we're short on something, so I don't have to go check on it myself? What about setup? Holy cow! If you get a new property, are you just stressing about setting it up, or are you thinking to yourself, hey, I got a great team. I can just outsource it to my interior designer, to my handyman, and to my assistants, and they're going to take care of it all at the same time, and I know it's going to be set up on the right day. These are the things that you can set up with good people and good technology and good systems to allow yourself to rest easily, okay? So with that being said, I want to give you 3 really easy next steps, some action items. If you just learned tonight and you do nothing, then you've just wasted an hour, okay? That's all there is to it. You have to take action. And so here's what I want you to take action on. I want you to, when we get off the phone tonight, go and get AirDNA, get our profit calculator, and do some research on defining a deal. What does that look like in your area? Is it a 1-1 in the 1, 2, 3, 4 neighborhood, or is it a 3-2 in the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 neighborhood? You need to define that. You need to figure that out right away. Then you need to master your pitch. We didn't talk anything about pitch tonight, but it makes no sense to get really good at finding a place if you have no idea how to talk to the landlord. So I have a video. If you go onto my YouTube channel, it's called How to Pitch or How to Talk to Landlords About Rental Arbitrage. I think that's what it is. It's one of the more popular videos on my YouTube channel. If you go there, Fearless Investor is the name of the YouTube channel. You can find it and you can start to work on your pitch. All right. I don't give a script there. That's reserved for my students, but I give them the idea of a good pitch. Okay. And then schedule your 3 hours per week. Block out that 30 minutes of research, block out that 30 minutes of calls, and block out that 1 to 2 hours of meetings, and make it non-negotiable. Make it that green time. Okay, you got the red time, the yellow time, and the green time. Red is non-negotiable, yellow is negotiable, green is non-negotiable. Schedule out that time, okay? So those are your 3 next steps. And then a bonus one, get a mentor. It doesn't have to be local. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, I need a local mentor. You don't have to get a local mentor. You need to understand, though, how you're doing this business. And so I'm making this very easy for you. And we're about to get to Q&A. Before we get to Q&A, I want to go over this offer really quick. First of all, I want to give you the free giveaway. Thank you. Give yourself a little round of applause, a little pat on the back for making it tonight and for staying this long. The free giveaway is one of my favorite things that we have. When you get a property, you are going to pull out this checklist, this Airbnb setup checklist, and you're literally just going to start checking off, am I doing all these things? I noticed after about 15 Airbnbs, I kept on thinking to myself and like staying up at night wondering like, okay, did my assistant do this? Did my assistant do this? Did I do this? Did the repairman do this? And I was like, why haven't I made a checklist for this yet? So you're going to get this emailed to you as soon as we're done with the presentation tonight. It'll be in your inbox when we leave. And just use this, like literally use it to the best ability that you can and set a date and just reverse engineer from that date. So I hope you like that. Hopefully you do. If you want to give me a thumbs up or a yay or a this is so cool. I usually just reserve this for my students, by the way, but I'm giving this to you guys tonight for free. So by the way, I'm seeing all the questions. I'm going to get to those questions here in a little bit, I promise you. So here is the offer. If you've been following me long enough, you probably know that I have a course, and this course has a lot of value to it. But I want to give you, because you took the time tonight to sit and listen and educate yourself and really give yourself a chance for your better future, I want to give you a real easy entry to just go for it. Okay. So with that being said, it's called the Airbnb Kickstart course. What this course will do, it's going to have 9 modules, short videos. I get a lot of people that say, I love that you keep these videos short. It's so easy to digest. It's so easy to take action. And that's what I want to hear. So it's going to be my path from $0 to $20,000 in under 18 months, because that's exactly what it was for me. I'm going to show you from point A to point Z and continued education on how that's evolving into, you know, $30,000 and more. How to master, automate, and scale it to 6 figures. All right, that's the big thing, right? We're doing it first, which is the mastering part. Then we're automating it. We're outsourcing it to other people and technology. And then we're scaling it. How are we growing this business? How are we getting from 1 to 5 to 10 to 20 properties? Showing you all that in this course. How to identify and evaluate properties. I just gave you the idea of how to do this, but I'm going to literally go over this in the course and show you how to define a deal. How to present to landlords and leasing agents. Sean asked this. Can you really, or does your, I think he said, does your course talk about the pitch? So in depth. So in depth. You're going to be so comfortable walking in because you have a script, because you have the idea, and because you have a literally bullet point script that will help you to get through that that meeting with the landlord. How to set up and manage a listing. You're going to learn the algorithm. You're going to learn the processes. You're going to learn how to get the most occupancy, the highest rates, to make the most money. I can tell you this: when I first started out, I was just guessing. And I look back and I think, wow, you know, I was stoked about getting $50 per night at this 1-bedroom, 1-bath. I could have been making as much as $80 per night. I just got a 1-bedroom, 1-bath booked for 5 nights in May right now at $100 per night, because I'm using automated pricing now, and I've taught myself exactly what to expect. And so I want to teach you that same thing. I want to make sure you're maximizing profits and minimizing time spent. How to raise money. This is a big thing. If you're looking to own, a lot of you said it's great to own. A lot of you said it's great to arbitrage. You need money in order to get that. So how are we able to go to individuals or institutions and get money? How are we able to use creative strategies to get money? This is a big thing. We're going to talk about that. Comes with marketing materials, checklists, templates, even some legal docs, and a 2-month free trial in our exclusive Airbnb Kickstart Facebook coaching group. It's a group. You can picture it like a mastermind where we get together once a week. We exchange ideas. I'm sharing with you new practices that I'm doing. I'm answering questions all the time. It's like having my cell phone number without actually having my cell phone number. That's the way that I'd like to present it, because I check this group 3 to 4 times a day. And if people have questions, I'm answering them almost right away, as much as I can, because I want to get you guys the most value possible. So What's the value of all this? Like, what does that come down to? So here's the value. Well, the course is valued. Again, this is not price. This is a value. I arbitrarily believe that this course is valued about $1,500. That's based on what most people are paying for courses in this industry. 2 months of group coaching, I value that, even though it's only $97 per month, I value that at about $150 per month because I'm helping people get occupancy rates higher. And for that reason, I mean, you can literally get one more night booked by having the value of the group, and it pays for the group every single month. Total value, $1,800, which is a lot of value. And the retail price, not what's up there on my website right now, but the retail price of this is typically $1,247. But that's not the price that's currently on my site. If you actually went to my site right now and tried to buy the course, it would actually be $997. You see it right down there at the bottom, $997. And that's also not the price. Guess what? Your price tonight, just because you showed up and you are here and you're learning and you're ready to take control of your future, is $597. But wait, there's more. I hate saying "but wait, there's more" because it sounds so infomercially. But if you were to order tonight before midnight, you're going to get a one-on-one coaching call with me, a free one-on-one coaching call with me for no extra cost. It's a $200 value. Okay, that's added on. Plus an extra bonus gift. If in the next 15 minutes during this Q&A, if you purchase during this call, before we end the call, and I'm going to have the offer up in a second, you're going to get a free market evaluation of $250. You and I are going to get on a call, a Zoom call, and we're going to go through your city that you're in, and we're going to define where in the city looks good. What is that? Is it going to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or is it going to be a 2-bedroom, 1-bath? Is it going to be a 1-1? What is it going to look like, and what zip code? We're literally going to get on the call, and I'm going to show you what a deal looks like in your area. A great example of this, I had a student that came to me and he said, "I've got it. So I'm going to go for this 1-1 in Houston. I'm going to make great money." I said, "Okay, well, we haven't done your market eval yet. Let's look at this." And we looked at it, and he had it completely wrong. He thought he was going to make right around $600, $700, $800 a month. And I was like, dude, you're at like $200 a month on this. But if we just turn that from a 1-1 into a 2-1, look at this. All the 2-1s in the area are making an extra $30 to $40 per night. Now suddenly he was going to make $800 or $900, and a 2-1 versus a 1-1 for startup costs is not that much different. He went out and found a 2-1 instead of a 1-1, and he's doing great today. So I think it's, you know, the deals that we don't do that are even better than the deals sometimes that we do. So with that being said, this one, again, you must order before the call ends, and I'm going to throw up the offer here in a second. So recap, $1,500 is the value of the course, $300 for the group coaching, one-on-one coaching call, $200, marketing about $250. Total value is $2,250, but you're getting it for $597. That's 74% off the total value, guys. This is I hope this is exciting for you. It's exciting for me. I'm excited to see who's going to jump on board. But with that being said, I want to show one quick testimonial from one of our students. So let me turn the screen sharing off. And Gracie says sold them in. Awesome. So let's go to this video here. This is from a student of mine. And sometimes I get an echo. I hope I don't get an echo this time. I'm actually going to mute my side. So I'm gonna play this video here. This is from Shagan, and this is a great video of a student that got great results from my course.
Hey guys, this is Shagan. So I joined Kyle's course back in December 2020. When I joined initially, I was struggling the most with approaching landlords and trying to convince them to rent to me for Airbnb through the rental arbitrage model. So after I joined the course in December, Kyle actually opened my eyes to a lot of things I was doing wrong. And after using some advice that he has in his course, I was actually able to land my first Airbnb unit after just over 3 weeks of being in the course. So I'm actually going to sign a lease tonight, and I'll hopefully have the Airbnb up and running in about 2 weeks at the beginning of February. So not only did I learn how to approach landlords, how to convince them to rent to me for Airbnb, I also learned how to set up systems and how to find my team and how to train my team. So I feel very prepared going into my first Airbnb unit. So if you're looking to get into Airbnb, please sign up to Kyle's course. Obviously, like I said, it took me a while to sign up, but go ahead and do it. You won't regret it, and you'll learn a lot along the way. So thanks, Kyle. And like I said, if you're looking to join, go ahead and do it as soon as you can. All right, bye, guys.
Okay, I think you're able to hear me again. Yeah, audio's back on. Okay, so yeah, Shagan was I mean, he talked to me for a long time when he was trying to decide if he was going to start, and he just was like, man, I'm going to go do it on my own. And for 4 or 5 months, he was trying to do it on his own. And then after getting the course, 3 weeks later, he actually had his first deal. So really excited about that. So I'm publishing the course right now. There is the course. If you're on your phone, I think there's a little sidebar that you have to press. But if you're on the desktop, all you're going to click on is the buy now if you're ready to do that. But while you're deciding, let's go ahead and go to our Q&A. So let's see here. We're going to start down further. I would want to have full detail. Okay, that's not a question. Start firing in your questions here, guys. I know you've got some along the way. So, okay, Sean said, are the estimated revenues from AirDNA generally accurate? Should be deducting from the percentage for estimated revenues to calculate costs for Airbnb fees. Typically, Sean, what I do is I actually add a little bit of occupancy rate because I'm doing things, think about it this way. They're gathering all the data from the really good hosts and the really bad hosts, and then some of those hosts in the middle. So what ends up speaking louder, the bad hosts and the okay hosts will kind of bring those rates down, and not the rates necessarily, but the occupancy rates. So I usually, if it says, it's bringing in $200 per night, I'll typically reduce that by about 10 to 15%. And then I will increase the occupancy by about 10%. So you decrease the rate, increase the occupancy. That's typically what I like to do. That helps me to stay conservative while also knowing that I know the algorithm. I know, and especially if you have the course, you're going to know the algorithm, which is going to put you higher in the searches. And being higher in the searches doesn't always mean you can promote higher prices, but it definitely means you're going to get booked out more often. Hopefully that makes sense. I hope it does. Let me know if you have backup questions for that. Do you go over how to pitch? Sean also says you go over how to pitch in your course. Absolutely. Like I said, in-depth, very in-depth. You actually hear a sample meeting that I have with a leasing agent. Okay. Think about that for a second. You're not just getting a script, you're hearing the how-to. You're literally hearing me connect with a leasing agent and pitch to them. And it only takes about 15 minutes. All right. Pretty cool. Gracie says call in an apartment complex now. Awesome. If you haven't picked up everything here in town, that's gold. Cool. Let's see. Carrie Ann, I've been told you have to be a real estate agent in order to manage someone else's property. Is that true, or only in certain places? So Carrie Ann, I will tell you this. I'm still working on figuring out California law for that. And that is something I'm sharing with my group all the time. There are some people that are looking at it as management, and some people say it's actually hospitality. And there's actually some rules written in the California law that say because it's a short-term rental that you're exempt. And so I'm figuring out those things all the time. My best recommendation to you is to call a good real estate lawyer in your state and make sure you understand that. But don't let that hold you back from getting started. I mean, here's the thing is I've got close to 40 units. And if I would have found that out early on, I might have stopped myself from getting started. Okay. Ready, fire, aim. Like that should be the approach. Just go get started. This is a low risk business, very low risk business. So just go get started and then figure that stuff out along the way. How do you find your leads for co-hosting? Very similar to what I talked about earlier, Carrie Ann. It started off with cold leads and a little bit of warm leads as well. One really quick thing that I'll just tell you right now, just tell everyone what you're doing. Tell every single person what you're doing. Tell them you're looking for relationships with real estate agents for property managers and real estate investors. Those three people will get you more leads than anyone. I get leads from real estate agents. A good friend of mine, Christy, she sends me leads on a weekly basis. I get investors that are always asking me, hey, I've got another house that the tenant is about to leave. I would love to see what it looks like for you to manage it for me. I get those all the time. It's also a mindset, right? Networking is a really boring word. Adding value is a more sexy way of looking at it. It's networking, but I'm adding value to people all the time. I'm doing free things. I'm posting on Facebook. I'm going to meetup groups in my area. I'm talking to realtors and I'm letting them know, hey, I know you guys are doing continued education. Can you bring me in? I'll sit down and show you what short-term rentals is all about. That has created so much lead flow for me and warm lead flow that I don't have to do a lot of cold leads. Hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any backup questions. Evan, woohoo, yeah, very helpful. Awesome, love seeing all this. Working on overcoming objections, absolutely. Just one, for example, is insurance. Hey, how are we insured? You're actually more insured as a landlord if you're co-host or if you're having me being a co-host or arbitrage than you would be as a regular rental. And we talk all about that. Are you doing another one of these anytime soon? Evan, this is going to be on repeat. It's going to be on replay. This looks like a private message. I'm sorry if you don't want me asking this, but if you'd like to watch this again with your wife, then I would just watch the replay. The only issue is that you're not going to get the free market eval, which is a bummer. But you'll still get a one-on-one coaching, and I'm happy to just look over some of your research that you've done for your area and just see if you're on the same page as I would be. All right. Sean, I'm definitely intrigued, but it seems like once the course is purchased, you have kind of a hands-off approach. Am I misunderstanding? Yeah, you are misunderstanding here, Sean. So the group coaching is very hands-on. If you have questions, again, the group coaching is like having my cell phone number without actually having my cell phone number. And here's the thing is I didn't have any hands-on help. I bought a course and I went and I did it. And in doing so, I wish I had some more hands-on help. And that's why I added the group coaching as well. So long story short, you should be able to be successful in this business with the education that I provide in the course. But I want to speed up that success and I want to streamline so you don't make as many mistakes. So that if, for example, you say, hey, Kyle, I think I got this deal. Here's the address and here's my profit calculator. Am I evaluating this correctly? You post that in the group. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. You're going to have me taking a look at that. You're going to have other students in the group that are 4, 5, 6 months ahead of you taking a look at that. You're actually going to get better coaching because of that, because people will be closer to your situation than I am, because I'm 2 years removed from when I started, but I've got students that are 3, 4, 5 months in, already have 2 or 3 units, and they're able to help you out as well. So very hands-on. It's probably different per area and just figured out. Yeah, different per area for sure. Startup cost is about 12 to 15K. Yeah, it just depends on the unit, Tony. If it's a 1-1, you're looking at more like probably 6,000 to 8,000, if that. And if it's a 3-2, 4-2, then yeah, probably about 12 to 15. If you purchase by the end of I think you mean call, this is Sean's. Can we schedule the market eval and coaching call a week? Yeah, you can literally schedule it the next day. Absolutely. I still have final exams and will be traveling for a week. Oh, got it. You want to do a little bit longer. Yeah, they never expire. You can do that anytime. So even if you wanted to wait a month, you could wait, but I don't suggest it. I suggest doing the market eval right away. Sounds like a plan. Awesome. How much money, Alfredo, how much money can I make per each co-hosting? So Alfredo, I don't want to give you like a number and then assume that it's going to be true, because I'll give you the percentage. The gross revenue collected is what you would charge a percentage to. So we charge 20% of the gross revenue collected. So if we collect $5,000, which is a typical 3 to 4 bedroom house, then we're going to earn $1,000. Okay. 20% of $5,000. I wouldn't go below like 16 or 17%, and I probably wouldn't go above 25. I know a lot of people that are at 25. You got to do what's right for your area. You know, it's got to be win-win, right? You have to serve your client, which is your guest and your host and your homeowner, while also making it make sense for you. You don't want to do work for free or for cheap, but you also don't want to take away a lot of profit. You want to make it enticing. So you've got to know your numbers. You really have to know your numbers. Oh, Pamela just asked the same question. Yeah. So hopefully that answers both your questions. And it looks like that is the last question. I would love to know if there's any more before we log off here. I've got a private message here that I'm just going to make sure I grab a quick picture of. Don't want that to disappear. Okay. So if there's no other questions, Alfredo says, thanks. I hope this has been super valuable for you guys tonight. We only went 5 minutes over, which is awesome. And would love to see all of you jump on board, but timing's got to be right. You've got to, again, like you got to feel like you jive with me too. If you don't like the way that I coach or teach, like go. There's other people out there. There's lots of people out there that are teaching this. You got to feel good about the person that's teaching it. Pamela says, so if the average rate per month is higher, do you go higher in percentage? No, I don't change the percentage. Tony says, so owner would make 4K, you make 1K for hosting. In that situation, yeah, for the 5K, absolutely. Replay will be emailed, Evan. I believe it's automated to get sent, I want to say like tomorrow afternoon. So just be on the lookout. Gracie, I'm excited to start with you too. Sean, do you give advice what legal structure to set up? Yeah, you're going to set, we'll talk about that in the course, but yeah, absolutely. We're talking, you know, any sort of legal advice that I give is not, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice, right? I'm giving you advice from the legal perspective that has been given to me, and you should always get that legal advice checked by a trusted lawyer that you have as well. Same with CPAs. And you talk about where to hire Airbnb photographers. You don't need Airbnb photographers. You just need real estate photographers. It's the same as Airbnb. You just want to get a good real estate photographer. Sean, I love all your questions, man. You got a lot of questions. I would say I know where you're at. Whether you purchase the course or not is completely up to you. Just take action, man. You're going to learn so much more by doing it than trying to figure out if you have everything figured out. Again, it's the ready, fire, aim. If you ready, aim, fire, it's good to have people on your team that are ready, aim, fire. But I'm telling you, more successful entrepreneurs and head of companies are ready, fire, aim. They go and they do it. They make their mistakes. They hire people around them and above them to be able to make less mistakes, but they just go and do it. And that's what I will tell you. Just go and do it, Sean. Just want to make sure that I'll be, Sean, yeah. The only way to make sure you'll be successful is if you go take action. Hella motivated. Love it. I'm on board. Cool. Yeah, cool, Sean. I'm really excited to connect with you, man. Sounds like you are a sharp individual. Looks like someone that that knows where they want to go and is serious about it. So that's really exciting. All right, guys. Well, hey, have a great rest of your night. Again, go on. If you want to stay in contact or stay in the know, make sure you're following my channel, Fearless Investor. Make sure you're following the podcast, The Fearless Investor. Make sure you're in our free Airbnb group, Airbnb Masterminds. And there's lots of ways to continue your education and to just, share. I want to see success. I want to see everyone that has learned from me. I want to see them successful. So anyway, thank you all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.